Welcome to the next week of ABSC Math. We're going to talk about measurement unit conversions, like if I'm switching between inches and feet. We've seen this a little bit. There was one perimeter problem where we said one of the few ways to make a perimeter problem tricky was if some edges are labeled in this kind of measurement unit and the other edges are measured in a different kind of measurement unit, and you can't add up whatever feet and meters at the same time. So you have to make them match and then do the adding of all the sides. So we've sort of mentioned this, but we haven't talked about it carefully. So let's actually do that. If I say 7.5 feet, 7.5 feet is how many inches, then we're going to multiply or we're going to divide. There's going to be a times 12 or divided by 12. And if you've done these a lot, because you work with carpentry or something, then it's really obvious. You have this intuition in your brain. Am I going to multiply or am I going to divide? But like many things, if you haven't looked at it carefully, you don't know what rule you're actually following. It's just working for you in your head because you've done it a lot. So let's look at what the rules actually are. Because if we don't have this just as an intuition, because we're not working in carpentry or whatever, then we have to figure it out each time. And if we're taking a test like the GED and our brain kind of shuts down, then it's nice to really know what the rules are so we're not going to mess up and pick the wrong one of divide or multiply. So feet going into inches. In this example, we're splitting apart each foot. I am taking my ruler and I'm saying that I'm going to take this foot and make 12 inches out of it. And it would be like chopping it with a scissors or something, right? So we say a foot is multiple inches in the same way that 15 is multiple threes. And this is one reason we've talked about factors and multiples in earlier weeks. In both cases, the big thing is several copies of the small thing. A 15 is 5 threes. A foot is 12 inches. So feet are multiple inches, yards are multiple feet, yards are multiple inches, miles are multiple yards or feet, pints are multiple ounces, and so on, right? Big things are multiple copies of the little thing. Oops, no. If we go the other way, 30 inches is how many feet, then we're grouping together these inches. Imagine I have some sort of pile of inches in front of me, and I have to gather 12 of them together, and then I can kind of squish them like silly putty or clay, and they turn into a foot. And then I take the next bunch of 12 inches and squish them together, and I get another foot, and so on. Does that make sense? It's like a story I'm telling. So if we're grouping together small things and making a bigger thing, then we'll say that an inch is a factor of a foot in the same way that 3 is a factor of 15. I could take 5 threes and smush them together and make a 15. So I can take yards and put them into miles. Feet are a factor of yards or miles, inches are a factor of feet, and so on. And this isn't traditional language. If you go up to someone and say inches are a factor of feet, they're going to look at you strangely. But it will help us with our metaphor that if we are grouping things together, that's what we call a factor in math. It goes into other things with enough groups of them. So the small things are a factor of the big things. And now we get the two rules that we were looking for. If we're converting from, the from is the important thing. I will take my yellow highlighter and underline the from a multiple measurement, like feet to the inches, then we multiply. And if we can slow down and think about it, that makes sense. If I have so many feet, I have 3 feet, how many inches am I holding? Each of these is 12, so 12 times 1, 12 times 2, 12 times 3. But often, again, especially in a test, our brain kind of shuts off. So it's nice just to have a quick rule. If we're going from something that's a multiple of the little one, we multiply. If we're going from the factor measurement unit, from the little thing, then we divide. So let's go back to our 2 example problems. 7.5 feet is how many inches? I'm going to take the 7.5. And I know there's 12 inches in a foot. So am I multiplying or dividing? Multiplying.
90.
And in the other one, if I have 30 inches, how many feet is this? Will I multiply by 12 or divide by 12?
Divide by 12.
Divide by 12.
2.5 feet.
Mhm. And if you're not getting that, then use your calculator. That is legitimate. We call these, by the way, at the bottom, one-step unit conversions, because it's just one step of divide by 12 or multiply by 12 or whatever it is instead of 12. With yards and feet, it's 3 and so on. We know these measurement unit conversions. That's the end of recording 1, and we'll go to the next one.